Hello all, welcome to this recording of using our new vector scheduling application that we will be using for signing up on our calendar. So before we get into that, I wanted to show you the way that you can log into the scheduling app, and then we'll go through all the different features and everything that we're going to use. I apologize if my voice sounds a little hoarse. I was yelling a little bit last night and kind of lost my voice. So we'll get through this step by step. And let's get started with this Vector Solutions login page. So as you can see right here, you can log into all the different vector applications. We are going to focus on the vector scheduling. You can get in through vector scheduling through the target solutions, which I will go over later in the video. But for today and right now, we are going to go over to get in through the vector scheduling. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a click, and we'll get started with the vector scheduling. So here is what it looks like when you're logging in. Again, you can sign in with Target Solutions. I'm not going to do that with this test account. I'm just going to log in with my test account that has the same access as you guys will as users. If I can get my password right. All right, so here is the home page. When you first log in, you can see what all the staffing is, what stations have open slots, if there are people filled in, and then you'll see these AEMT, EMT things. If you hover over it, it tells you what it is. It shows you what a qualifier or advanced EMT qualifier, so on, a qualifier basic, and we're going to go over what all that means. Okay, so when you're here, you won't be able to do anything. This is just for you to be able to view who is on the calendar and what positions are open or what positions are filled. So let's go ahead and get into how we're going to get into signing up for shifts, and then we'll look at other features as well. So we're going to come over here to the left-hand side where you can see the house and the calendar and all these other things. And we're going to go to the calendar, and we're going to go to the crew scheduler. This is where you guys are going to spend a lot of your time, especially when you're signing up for shifts. Okay, so here is the crew scheduler. This is what it looks like every time you sign in to this crew scheduler or get to that from that page. So there's a lot going on right now. You can see we've got a couple people that are signed up for today, and then there's all these other open shifts. There's medic, AUT. So we're going to go through all of this right now. Okay, each station has their own way that they can sign up for shifts. Plus, we have our rapid response rigs, and then when the part-time positions come open, then those will be where you can sign up for those. So this account is set up for what we have primarily on our permit, which is either an AEMT or a firefighter or an AEMT firefighter. Okay, so this account is an AEMT firefighter. So that means that I can sign up for any shift that shows an AEMT, EMT, or firefighter or ESF. Okay, if there's ever an ESF that pops up here, then I can still sign up as a firefighter because I meet that qualification. So what all these little symbols mean is that these slots on the schedule require that specific qualification. Okay, so either it has to be an EMT or an advanced EMT, medic, or firefighter. So since my account is an advanced EMT, I can sign up for any EMT or advanced EMT shift. And since I'm a firefighter, I can sign up for the firefighter shift. I am not a medic, so no matter how many times I click on the medic shift, I cannot sign up for a paramedic shift. Okay, that's specifically open for that qualification. As you can see, we have Andrea and picked on those two prior to logging in. I put these both in here. You can hover over them and you can see who modified it, when it was modified, and then what groups and all the other stuff that's in here. Okay, so we're going to go over what all this stuff means as we sign up ourselves for a shift. So let's go ahead and get started and how we can sign up for either a position with a qualifier or an open position or no qualifier. Okay, so since we're an advanced EMT, we're going to sign up for a shift at Station 74 as an advanced EMT. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click, and in here it's going to bring up this box. And work type is just volunteer. There will be other times that we have different types of work. When we have other events or anything, that'll be different. But anytime you sign up for a shift, it's going to show volunteer. Okay, when you're going to start your shift to when you're going to end your shift, and then it will show you the total hours right here. Per our SOPs, you can't go back in time to show you're available for a shift after the fact. This application will not allow you to go back days, but it will allow you to sign up hours after. So I could still put that as available from 8 a.m. and it will show that on the calendar, but I can hover over that and show that it's been modified. Okay, so just be aware that if you schedule yourself for 8 a.m., you can go back in and change it if it was really like 10 a.m., 8 p.m., or something like that. Okay, so let's put in a shift that we're going to put in from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. Let's just do a 12-hour shift. So 10 p.m. So it shows I have 12 hours. Labels, you guys aren't going to have to worry about. You can click in here and you can see there's all the different labels that we've created. I'll tell you why we don't have to worry about labels here in just a second once we actually schedule the shift. Qualifier, you will want to pick this if you're signing up for a position that has for a slot on the schedule, for a qualified position. So the AEMT one that we clicked on, we want to pick that we meet that qualifier, right? The advanced EMT qualifier. Shared qualifiers is not something that we have built in yet. It's not something that we're going to worry about until later on. Just so you guys are tracking, a shared qualifier is if there's a position that needs an AEMT and a firefighter, or it needs to be an AEMT firefighter, then we could put that as a shared qualifier that it has to have both. Okay. Again, that's in the future. You can type any notes in here. We'll just put test shift for notes. Okay, you can put whatever notes in here. If you wanted to add a break, so say you needed to be gone for an hour or 2 hours in between, maybe you had an appointment, but you still said you were available. So we'll pick noon to 2. So you get 10-hour shift, 2 hours of break. Is this something you have to put in here? No, and I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, so this shift, we said we're available for 12 hours, but we're only 10 hours because we have to take a break in between. And then we're ourselves. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice we filled that AMT qualifier, AMT qualified spot. See how this one has 2? Now we only have 1 because we took it, and you can see it right there. Okay, there's our. Okay, I told you didn't need the labels, and this is why. You already have labels assigned to you to whatever your status is. So if you're an AEMT firefighter, you can see Captain Shakespeare has his captain and his EMT in here. EMS Supervisor Smith has her label, her ESF, AEMT, so it shows whatever licenses or qualifications you have. It will show up next to your name. Okay, that's already pre-built into the program based on the information we have. So if you sign up for an account, if you sign into your account and you sign up for a shift and you do not see the appropriate identifiers, let me know and I can make those changes. Okay, you can see that there's a note on the shift. Note shows that it's a test shift. It shows that we have 10 hours. So how come I said it's not important if you put the break time in there? This still shows you're available from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., but it only shows 10 hours. The only way I'm going to know that you're on break is if I click shift. And so it doesn't necessarily matter that you put that you're on break, but if you wanted to, you have to show that would be more applicable for our part-time personnel if they are going to get paid for 10 hours and they sign up for a 12-hour shift. Then that would be something for a per hour employee to use. A volunteer, if you want to use it, you can, but again, it's not required that you use it. Okay, if you were saying, hey, I'm going to be available from 10 till noon and then from 2 until 10, then you could do that as well. So we'll set it up that way the second time so you guys can see how it works differently. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this shift. Okay, we don't want this shift. We said, you know what, we put that in wrong. Let's get rid of it. So we're going to click on the shift, and now we're going to delete user from shift. Okay, are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, let's delete. All right, now it comes up with this window. Would you like to notify the employee about the deletion? Well, I don't really care. I'm deleting my own shift. In order for us to give you guys access to delete your own shifts, we had to give you access to delete all shifts for all employees. There was no way around it. So when you're deleting a shift and you pick somebody else, you can choose to notify them. Right? If it's a supervisor that gets notified that says, hey, Cap, Chief, I signed up for this shift. Now I'm not able to do it. Or something else happened, right? That person can go in and then we can notify them, hey, your shift's been deleted. But just don't delete anybody's shifts but your own, and that'll get all over. That will get around all of this. So we don't need to notify ourselves. We know we're deleting the shift. All right, so that clears that out. Okay. And again, just to show you guys what I mean, if I could go to Captain Shakespeare's and you can see I can edit his shift, I can modify it, I can even delete him from the shift. And again, if I hit delete, it'll ask me, do you want to notify the user? Okay, so just don't delete anybody else's shifts. That's the easiest way around. So let's go ahead and schedule ourselves for 2 different times. And we're just going to schedule ourselves for without putting the qualifier on. Because maybe we're like, I don't care about the qualifiers. I don't know the qualifiers. I don't understand what you're talking about, Chief. I'm just going to sign up for a shift. Okay, fine. So let's sign up from 10 till noon. All right, so there's 10 till noon. And we don't care about anything else. Boom, add. Done. There's 10 till noon. Okay. Now if we're going to do it again, you can click on anywhere. Anywhere that says schedule yourself, click on it. So we're going to, for funsies, click on this one. And now we're going to put from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, because that's when we said we were going to be available, 10 p.m. And we're not going to worry about anything in here. We're going to click add yourself. Boom, done. And notice we clicked on this one, but it didn't get filled, right? And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open shifts. There's normally 6 open shifts. So we took one of these open shifts, but we still have 2 shifts available. Well, when you click on a shift that requires a qualifier and you'll put one in, it's just going to create another open shift and put it in here. So that way you're not taking an open shift and you're not taking a qualifier position. If we're like, you know what, I feel like I want to, then we could go in and modify this and put, okay, I want to be the advanced EMT for that period of time on the schedule. Okay, modify user, you'll notice, boom, it pulls that, shows AEMT right here. Now we know, okay, we for sure have an AEMT, we're good to go. What is the purpose of having qualifiers on it? It's just something for us to keep track of as far as where we want our minimum for each shift. We would like to have 2 advanced, 2 EMTs, a medic, and firefighter, at least minimum. If you have any of those qualifications, do you have to sign up for the shift with a qualifier? No, you don't. Okay, if you do, it just puts that pretty little AEMT box or that little EMT box above your name, so it's easy to see. We can find it right away. But if you don't and you're still an AEMT, you can still sign up for a shift. Again, it's just for us to see, and it's for in the future. If we automate this, then the program will find that qualifier, and if you fit it, it can fill you in automatically without us having to manually plug you in or having to manually do it yourself. So it's just to help the application and to help us see who is the advanced EMT, who's the EMT, who's the paramedic. And so that's all the qualifier does. You don't have to put it. It's not something that's required. However, you can. It's something that it's a convenience thing. All right, we're going to delete both of these shifts. No, we don't want to notify myself. Okay, so let's say I want it to be. You can't. Well, I'll just answer this. I'm not going to show you guys. You can't put yourself 10 to noon here and 10 to noon here. I know it sounds like, well, why would I do that, Chief? I don't know, but you can't. Okay, the application will not allow you to put yourself in two different places at the same time. It makes sense, I know, but I just figured I'd bring it up before we moved on. Okay, when you hover over, again, it can show you who modified it, when it was put in, when the last update was, and the work type, which again is volunteer, and then what groups that person it belongs to. So if I came in here and I changed this to 9, let's say I wanted to change it to 9 a.m. because I was available 9 a.m. Who knows? We shouldn't be doing this, but I just want to show you guys. When you update something, it can show whoever hovers over when that was done. So you can see, oh, last update was at 10:01, but you put you're available at 9, right? So we're showing that we were available in the past. It's something that we're trying to avoid, but again, this is something that's days in the past, not hours in the past. That's what this program will not allow me to do. I can't schedule myself for yesterday. So that's the qualifiers and just scheduling yourself anywhere. So I'm going to go to my account really quick so you guys can see if a medic signs up or if a chief signs up. So I'm going to put myself at Station 73. So this one's a little bit different, so bear with me here because I am an administrator. If I pick somebody for a qualified position, it automatically gives me, puts their qualifier in for me because that's what I'm specifically looking for, is that qualifier. So again, that's not something that's imperative for you guys to understand, but just know that if I do this for anybody else, it's going to autofill some stuff for me. So I'm going to go ahead and add, boom, pulls the medic, so that medic shift is gone. I'm an assistant chief, firefighter, paramedic, so you can see all of them. Does this mean that another paramedic can't sign up? No, it doesn't mean that. Because let's say Mr. Bosch, who works at Station 73, also wanted to sign up for a shift. If he clicks, does this thing, let's pretending that Mr. Bosch is signing in, he doesn't have to put a qualifier. Okay, he can if he wants to. If he wants to put that he's a paramedic, he can put that in here. And then all it's going to do is, boom, now we have 2 paramedics. It shows the 2 paramedics. It gives him the medic qualifier over the top. But again, it's not something that has to be done. The qualifier, again, to clarify, is for the program to autofill is the number 1, and then for us to easily see what qualifier you meet or you have along with whatever groups you're assigned to. So these should be, again, what current certifications or licenses or positions you hold. Okay, so this is pretty much every one that we have except for EMT. The EMT is on here as well. I will change the color of EMT to match that color so it's not as confusing. So that will get changed. So that's pretty much it for scheduling yourself. Okay, we'll go back to the test account. So now you can see these two people have been added. When I hover over it, you can see that I added it. Again, you can over any time. Okay, so that's the crew scheduler and how to use it. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, you can delete, you can add, you can change, whatever you want to do. You can fill in these qualified positions, you can fill in an open position. Whatever you want to do, you can do as far as that. This is one way to view it. You can change it to the week. Okay, so you can see this is the crew scheduler for the whole week for all the stations. Okay, and then you can do for the month. Okay, and this shows you everyone for the month. So why does it have a V on here? Well, these are shifts that we've signed up for. Okay, so if it shows a V, that means volunteer. That's a volunteer work status. So anyone that shows a V, they were signed up for that shift. That's what that means. All right, so that's, again, monthly, daily, weekly. You can look at all of that. We're going to go back to the crew scheduler. We're just going to use it right up here, or you can use over here, but I'm going to use up here. And I'm going to put this back into day mode. So I can just look at today. So here's today. You can go to any day you want. Okay, so if we go to the 30th, you can see I signed up for a shift. Okay, the test account here, signed up for a shift. So you can go as far in the future as you want to the next month, the next 6 months out, however far you want to go. You can do all that. Okay, that's all available for you to do. So we're going to look at a couple more things, and then I'll show you guys a couple more features, and that should cover everything. So we'll look at the timeline view. So you can access that here, or you can access that here. Okay, so viewing the timeline. This just shows you real tracking time, who's where, and what times they're scheduled for. Okay, so if you wanted to look at it that way, you can look at it that way. Again, here's all of our fire shifts. 2 AMTs, 2 EMTs, 1 MAC, 1 firefighter. And this shows who meets these qualifiers, boom, 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 and then all of their groups. So that's what all that is. I can delete from the timeline. Okay, I can also move from the timeline. So another way, you can just move things to different places. Maybe I meant to sign up for station 72. I can move them to there. Okay, so 10 to 1, I can put that in, and now I've edited the shift from the timeline. Okay, so you can drag and drop from the timeline, you can use the crew scheduler. Either one works. Okay, you can't add from here, but you can edit and you can delete. So we'll move back this shift back over to station 74. And now we're to station 74. Okay, so that's the timeline view. Again, you can zoom to 1 day, zoom to 3 days, you can look at the whole week, you can zoom all the way out. However you want to look at this, you can change this to however you want to look at it. All right, so that's what this does as far as the timeline. Okay, list view is very similar to what you saw on the first page. Okay, this is exactly what our home screen looks like, and you can't do anything here. Okay, this is just for you to look at it. It'll show you what your staffing counts are right? We have 2 medics, a basic and AEMT, and then we have a non-qualified. So these employees do not have any qualifiers or are not filled in any qualified positions, which is the test account right here. So that's all that means. The sign-up board, we're not going to go today. That's going to be something that we will go over in the future, because if we have events that you want to sign up for, then people can come in and create those events. Like when we have special events, the corn maze, if we don't want to use the scheduling app, then these are just voluntary things that you can come in and you can sign up for these events. Okay. The roster map just shows you literally people are plugged in. Okay, so if you want to play around with that, you can, but it shows you where at they are. The phone, you guys don't have to worry about. This is for callbacks. It's not something we're going to worry about. We will go over time off. Okay. So here's the time off calendar. And we can't do anything from here. You can view it, but you can't edit and input anything. Where you do that is request time off. Okay, so what are we going to use this for? Well, we have administrative leave and we have captain's leave. The rest of this stuff, you guys won't have to worry about. We'll get rid of it. So we will have administrative leave and captain's leave. So if you spoke to your captain or you're going to request leave and you're like, hey, I don't need to take off for an extended period of time, I just need like a week or so off or a couple weeks off, put in for captain's leave, and then you can send it to your administrator. So there will be more administrators in here or supervisors in here that you can send this to request time off in. And then you put what day you want to have your time off for until what day you want to end. Okay, so from here to here, we're going to go from March to March. Okay, and then we would send that time off request. So you could send that to me, or you can send it to everybody realistically, and you can do a shotgun effect and hope somebody approves it. But just send it to your captain, right? If you're Station 74, send it to Captain Erger, and send it to your appropriate captain, Captain Shakespeare or myself, or Captain Livingston to approve your captain's leave. Okay. If you're going to take administrative leave, where you're going to be gone for an extended period of time, 60 days or more, is where we're going to try to put that threshold at. Then you need to send that to myself or Chief Neil to approve your administrative leave. And then you can notify your captain, hey, I'm putting in for administrative leave. But when you start putting in for a greater amount of time, then you're going to need to put it in to one of the chiefs to get that approved. So we can do that. So we'll put back in for captain's leave. We'll send this to me, and then we'll put none of your business, right? Whatever. Please don't put that. Put something. I don't care if you even put because I want it, So boom, it's been sent off. So I will get notified that I have received a time off request to my email, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So here's my homepage platform. All of a sudden I have a notification bell, and it says I have a time off request. So I can click on that, and it just acknowledges that. Sorry, I thought that was going to take me there. So you can see my little suitcase here has one, and I have to process a request. So I click that. Who has sent it to me? Start date, end date, note. Okay. Any questions? And I can approve or deny request. Okay, so we'll go ahead and approve the test account and for captain's leave from March 27th till March 31st. Perfect. Approve it. Done. Okay, and then need to acknowledge that I got. So that's been acknowledged. So now, if I view the time off calendar, it's going to show that the test account is on captain's leave. So this is where the little hiccup comes in. If you submit for captain's leave or administrative leave and you're off for a full year, this program only shows it on one day. It doesn't show it every single day that you're off. So if I click on this one that says 3/30, you can see it's from the 27th to the 31st. Okay. I can put a repeating pattern on this for me. I'm not going to go into that into great detail, but basically if I do that, it just keeps extending your leave by a day every time I do that. So we're going to try to figure out a different way to do this so it shows up on the calendar for everyone to see. Because right now, if I were to go, this is back to the test account, this is the firefighter's account, I can see that I have time off. I can view my time off. I know that I'm right. So you can print this out for your records. That way you have it out and give it to your captain to show that it's been approved for administrative leave. But if you go to your crew scheduler, right, the only day that it shows me off is on the 30th. Okay, how come it shows me off on the 30th? Because originally I had been signed up to work a shift on this day, and then I put myself in for vacation or for captain's leave. So it will show up for days that I'm signed up to work. It will show up every day that I was signed up to work. If you were never signed up to work and you put to leave, it will only show up the days that you were signed up. Okay, so what happens if I try to go a day, say I'm on leave, I put myself in for captain's leave, and I'm like, oh, well, actually I'm good. I can actually work the 29th. Okay, so if I go to schedule myself on the 29th and myself in there, then it's going to put me on here, but then it's also going to show me off. So concurrent time off allowed. So it means that, yeah, I may have signed up for the shift, so I have a shift off. So it so if you run into that, just notify your captain or myself or Chief Neil, and we can remove that time off. So you know, because as an administrator, it affects me more than you, and I'll show you just for your knowledge. So if I go into the 28th, which is a day that the test account is not scheduled for, and I put in test, and I go to sign in, and I go to assign the test account, it tells me that force them because they have time off. So I would have to force that person into that assignment. So the vacation, you being off on requesting time off affects those who can schedule you and not really you or anybody. So that's more of what the time off is for. So you could see, yes, I was scheduled, but I have time off. So we're not expecting it. So that's the time off. I know it's kind of a little wonky on how it works. That's just the way this program is set up. It's set up to show time off for those who are actually signed up to work day. So any day that you're not signed up, it doesn't matter. You're not going to show that you're off. We'll know that you're off, but nobody else will. So that's the time off. If you guys have questions on that, let me know. Anything else in here? This is the clock in, clock out. We're not going to worry about that. That'll be again for other employees. You guys can run reports. I'll let you play with that. You can look at everyone that's in the directory. All right, you can look at our roster if you want to look at that. These are all other things you guys can look at if you want. I'm not going to go through all this. Okay, so again, this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time, is in the crew scheduler. And hopefully you guys kind of got a better understanding of what these little identifiers are, just to show you what group they belong to, what the qualifiers are, and how that works. The last thing I told you guys I was going to show you is how to sign in through your target solutions. So if we go into our target solutions and we log in, over here on the left hand side it shows vector scheduling. Okay, so you can click on the vector scheduling and it will take you to the same spot. Okay, so this is my actual account. So I just did the exact same thing instead of going through here and then putting my name. So even if I were to click in, sign in with Target Solutions, it takes me to it would take me, sorry, let me do this the right way. Apologies, give me just a second. So if I were to be here, after scheduling, I click in with sign with Target Solutions, it still takes me to this. Okay, and then I click log in from here, and then it will show me to take me to the vector schedule. Okay, so hopefully that answers a lot of questions on what the qualifiers are, work, how you schedule yourself, how you remove yourself, how you can change your time. And the reason these are in red, sorry, I forgot to mention this, the reason these are in red is because the work type, the volunteer, it's designated with the red coloring. So if we had a different type of work type, you would see a different color. We don't have a different type, so I can show you this. We got a default, right? So now you can see because default has a different color select to it. So that's all that means. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that. That's why they're red. Anything else, so you can see. So if this account were to go to the 28th, you could see boom. So that's why it's color. So just wanted to confirm. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for how to use the scheduling. It's, again, pretty straightforward as far as how to use it. Let me log back into the test account really quick. Okay, and then it even shows me here, if I log in, my next shift is on 3/29. My next time off is on 3/27. Okay, so it starts 1 day from now, total length. So it shows you when you have time off, where your time off is at, and then it also shows you where your next shift is. So my captain's leave, I have a shift there, well, I know, so I don't. So that's, again, more for when we progress further into, hourly employees, but it is a nice feature to have that's built in. So if you guys have any questions on what to do, on how to work this program, feel free to hit me up anytime, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
This has also been put out to all the captains, so the captains should be becoming familiar with it as well. Let's see what our notifications are. Oh, my time off request has been acknowledged and approved. Sweet. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it for giving me time off. That's all good. All right. Again, if there's any questions as far as how to use it, let me know. And we plan on trying to roll this out as early as the 1st of April. Okay, so I know that's pretty quick, but we're trying to get away from the Google Sheets and get into this because it's easier to track hours this way, and it makes things a lot easier on the administrative side. And it's a cleaner look. It's easier to manage, and hopefully, as you guys get used to it, it's pretty easy to use. It was more building it that took the time. So if you guys have any issues with your accounts or using the program, again, let me know. I'm kind of the contact for this. Myself, Captain Shakespeare, or Chief Neil. You can reach out to any one of us. I should be your primary point, and then Chief Neil, and then Captain Shakespeare if he's available. So other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next one.